me right. I think about it day and night. I feel like a king, oh yeah. And baby, can't help but stare. Such a rush, baby. When you touch me, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, cats and chicks, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm live in the studio with my favorite crew, Mr.
Devin, the video guy here.
Mr. Devin, the video guy, my co-host, and the greatest producer in all of the world, Mr.
Hey, it's Eric.
CC Rider.
Another good one.
Oh, yeah.
That one's going in the bank.
Oh, good. All right. I like the bank. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got a great show today. We're part two of 1985, and we're going to talk about the hits of 1985, and we left off at Cherish on the last week's show. But before I go any further, I want to remind people of our group, Viva ENT Talk Radio Rock, Pop, and Soul.
1,032 members last time I checked.
32 members. We're it's cooking, man.
Every day there's some more coming aboard. And
yeah, and everybody really loves the group. You know, there's no bashing of artists. It's pop, rock, and soul from all the decades. It's not 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s. It's from all the decades. I mean, if you want to post something from Bing Crosby, I'm cool with that.
I hope you like notifications, because you post something and it just blows up on the site.
Yeah, and yeah, some posts are bigger than others, but it's consistently moving and grooving.
And also, while you're there on the internet, check out Viva ENT Studios on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
Devin Creisler Studios.
I like it.
And
one thing's for certain is we cherish all the members of the Viva ENT group, and what better way to lead into Kool and the Gang?
Great song.
Cherish, which was where we left off a couple weeks ago.
And what number was that?
Number 17.
Cool.
Number 17, yes.
Very mellow type thing, and really show their versatility.
Great R&B ballad from Kool and the Gang.
I want to make a music video like this. They're on the beach. You could do this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll do Tender Feeling.
I thought about that, actually. Tender Feeling would be really great.
Yeah.
On the beach style like this.
Yeah, I like it.
Get you all your friends together. Let's do it.
Sounds good.
This 15 years into Kool and the Gang's career.
Really? That's amazing, because hardly any artists have a 15-year career.
Yeah, and they scored hits, pretty much the whole career. But 1985 was kind of tapering off on success for these guys. But, another great tune, of course. They had already done classics like Jungle Boogie, Hollywood Swingin', Summer Madness.
So many
Celebrate,
big hits.
Yeah. So...
Jungle Boogie, I love Jungle Boogie.
And they got some more hits this year, like Misled and Fresh. And
Fresh was a
great
hit.
song and a big hit. But then after, 86, they scored another big one with Victory in their cover of Stone Love, but then it kind of tapered off for the guys as far as success-wise. But, they're still going and still recording, and more power to them.
Forever Cool.
Forever Cool in the Gang, yeah. Definitely one of the great R&B bands of
all time.
Music of all time, no question about it. And they got some of the greatest dance songs, Ladies' Night and
Jungle Boogie for one.
So many big hits that you want to get up and dance to for sure.
Oh, anytime.
No question about it. And so now, real quick, do you have the list in front of you, Devin?
Yes, I do.
About the highlights of 1985?
Oh, yeah. I got some event details. There was a lot that went on from Farm Aid in 1985.
Farm Aid, yeah. I remember Farm Aid. It was a big deal.
Spearheaded by Willie Nelson, I believe, and John Mellencamp involved with that as well.
And Neil Young.
Yeah.
And Neil Young, yeah.
And they raised $9 million with 80,000 that attended. They had Bob Dylan playing, and Billy Joel, B.B. King, Roy Orbison, and Tom Petty.
Oh my gosh!
You got most of the traveling Wilburys right there.
maybe there was a something behind that.
Right?
Yeah, that was a great lineup, and Willie Nelson used to come to Vegas. When he first hit big and became a really big star, and Vegas it was. I won't say it was as big as an Elvis type thing, but all of a sudden you got all these cowboy hats in Vegas. Oh, you know what I mean? Overnight. So he was playing Caesar's Palace. And he was kicking serious butt, and he was actually bringing so many people into Vegas when he played that it actually changed the economy of the city, just like when Elvis came.
And you experienced that. You were down there.
Oh yeah, I was there at the time, and as a matter of fact, I was even playing Willie Nelson songs like Whiskey River and On the Road Again and Blue Eyes. Not Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, but did he write that one? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
But he did Ain't It Funny How Time Slips Away, and that was when I did too.
And
Whiskey River, I like that, nice funky.
Did you ever play St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion by John Parr?
I didn't, and I like to hear that because
it's number 18 for the year.
Yeah.
This, of course, the big song from the movie.
Yeah.
St. Elmo's Fire, which was the Brat Pack, as they called them in the 80s.
Matt Dillon.
Oh, Emilio Estevez, Demi Moore. Well, it was in the movie, but
yeah,
he was in a lot of movies.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Another one where they put clips of the movie in the music video.
Of course, yes, because it was all about the movie. John Parr had, one other single that did well called Naughty Naughty, entirely different sound than this, but this was the big song for him, and of course it was the movie that really helped sell this, and I think it actually was a pretty good song. But John Parr didn't quite look like a rock star. He had this big mullet hairdo that, Michael Bolton a few years later would find success with. But at the time, kind of goofy.
I know. I hear what you're saying. I don't really remember this song that much. It obviously was a big hit. Kind of went past me. And I didn't see the movie St. Elmo's Fire. Actually, I thought it was a TV show. So I kind of missed that one.
I think you're thinking of St. Elsewhere.
Maybe.
A lot of TV show themes coming up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that one got by me.
But, the song, if you listen to the lyrics, is actually not about anything in the movie. It's actually about a guy that went cross-country in his wheelchair. So it's Man in Motion is the subtitle for St. Elmo's Fire.
Wow.
And so John Parr kind of adapted it by adding the St. Elmo's Fire part to the song and, fitting well with the movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Fire burning, yeah.
Very cool. Any other highlights?
Oh, so in 2021, we're here. I wanted to mention that we got some... announcements. The Growler Guys is playing every Wednesday.
Okay, cool.
Hidden Door has the open mic. But back then, in 1985, the March 27th, we got the South African Broadcasting Corporation banned Stevie Wonder's music in response to Wonder dedicating the Oscar he'd won the night before to Nelson Mandela.
Ooh.
Whoa.
That's controversial.
But
it would have been in South Africa at the time because apartheid was in full effect, and Nelson Mandela, I believe, was in prison at the time for being the opposition leader to, the South African government. But, of course, Stevie Wonder and Nelson Mandela were on the right side of history, and the South African apartheid government was definitely not on the right side of history.
Definitely.
Right, definitely. And
there's the Mandela effect. That's the whole other...
That's
alternative talk
later.
There.
Yeah.
That's political. What other great...
Well, January 11th, one of the biggest music festivals in the world begins in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The Rock of Rio has a public of 1.5 million people.
No kidding.
You got Iron Maiden, you got B-52s, Go-Go's, Queen, Rod Stewart, James Taylor,
Wow.
AC/DC.
That sounds like a great thing for the for Brazil. And I vaguely remember it, but I can imagine how big it would have been down there.
I bet the heat was on in Rio.
Yeah, big
Definitely,
time.
just like number 19.
And speaking of big songs from big movies, this, of course, from Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
Glenn Frey from the Eagles doing a solo thing. And I really think he's doing his kind of a Kenny Loggins impression here. This very much sounds like a Kenny Loggins tune, especially how he was scoring big hits.
Oh, definitely.
With movie themes at the time.
A little bit like Footloose type thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie Murphy on fire again in the mid-'80s.
Yeah. I was performing this song when it came out. It's got a great sax lick in it. It's just a great pop record, good dancing song, and it was a fun song to play. It really was.
Yeah, and really different from what the Eagles were doing,
Yeah. He left Eagles for a little time,
But this is not a million miles away from what Don Henley was doing solo at the same time, too. So It's interesting they both kind of left behind that Eagles sound that had been so successful and did more of a straight-up pop rock kind of thing when they did their solo careers.
I like it. It's one of my favorite songs.
And Don Henley, Boys of Summer this year, number 53. That's like...
Yeah, that was Don Henley, man. Great vocalist, just like Glenn Frey. Amazing. And
we probably won't get that far down to the chart in today's show because we only have the hour. But the interesting thing about the Boys of Summer, big hit for Don Henley, but was originally offered to Tom Petty. Ooh. And Tom Petty said, "Nah, I write my own stuff, so no thanks. But you should change the drums on that." They did change the drums on it. And then Don Henley said, "Hey, I like this," and made it a big hit with the Boys of Summer.
He did.
I love that song,
Yeah, it's a great song.
The summer's coming.
Yeah, Don Henley got that great voice, man.
But he will be on soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, the next one is a number 8 physical best-selling song of all time. It is We Are the World, USA for Africa.
Yeah, I would have thought this would have been the number one song of the year because I remember this being huge.
Yeah, just play the hell out of it. Yeah.
It was everywhere all the time. And, fair enough because it was a super group. They had everybody that was big time in music in 1985 in USA for Africa.
It was a big deal.
From Bob Dylan to Waylon Jennings.
Michael Jackson, Bruce Springsteen. It really was a super group of... like I said, the biggest names in music at the time. Lionel Richie starts it off. I don't think it's a particularly good song, if I'm honest. I've heard it way too many times, but the cause, their heart was in the right place. You can't deny that. And they did raise a lot of money to help, starving people in Africa.
Yeah.
And, of course, they were inspired by Band-Aid, that was doing the same thing in the UK with their Do They Know It's Christmas single.
And Live Aid.
And then, of course, Farm Aid. So this was really the time where, these big pop stars realized, hey, we can bank on our name, we can bank on our reputation and maybe help some people.
Yeah, and I think it was a great formula and it worked.
Well, inspired by Concert for Bangladesh back in years before, yeah.
Bangladesh!
I just wish they had gotten a better song.
That's funny. Yeah, it's kind of a...
It gets requested at the Federal Way Farmers Market.
I bet.
Does it?
I bet.
Okay.
I bet.
Diana Ross.
Diana Ross, one of my faves.
Yeah.
We even got a blues brother here, Dan Aykroyd's a part of it.
Right, that's right. They were letting anybody in the studio.
Bruce Springsteen, Tina Turner.
Oh, I love Tina.
Dionne Warwick.
Kenny Loggins.
Yeah, Kenny Loggins, yep.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Charles.
Great job.
There was somebody for everybody, regardless of what flavor of pop music you liked. There was somebody being represented in USA for Africa.
Well, it won the first ever single to be certified multi-platinum, quadruple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America.
That's a good statistic to know. I didn't know that, and I believe it.
And the B-side was Grace, released March 7th.
Oh, kidding.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Well, this next one is one of my favorite on the list. Number 21, Shout by Tears for Fears.
Ooh. Yeah, this is a song I like.
Definitely the sound of the day.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Tears for Fears' signature moment.
Well, Everybody Wants to Rule the World was the number 7 song of the year, and this was a very successful follow-up.
Yeah, no question that the guys were on target. Their records were big, and it's a great song.
Head Over Heels isn't half bad at number 60 either.
Cool.
You know, it's funny, like Tears for Fears had some success after this. I'm not saying they were wiped off the musical map, but it is always interesting to me when a band scores with their album and, has like 3-4 big hits off of it and really is superstars for like a year. And then for whatever reason, the next record comes out and it kind of does okay, and then it's like, oh, well, they're not quite the superstars they once were, but that seems to happen over and over again where it's like the country just falls in love with one particular record and then, they kind of go cold.
That's why I always say that, bands that, like Kool and the Gang that have hits, and Diana Ross that had hits in the 60s and in the 80s, it just doesn't really happen, in pop music.
It's rare,
as a rule. And so,
it's all the more impressive when somebody can have a career that stretches 20 years like that.
So Tears for Fears had their moment in time, and it faded. So it really is something. When a band can do that achievement of scoring a hit in the 60s and scoring a hit in the 80s, gosh.
When you get that moment...
who does that? Nobody.
Enjoy your limelight, because who knows what tomorrow brings.
I mean, Tina Turner didn't even have a major hit, and she was known for years, very famous entertainer, one of the best entertainers that ever walked on stage, but really didn't score commercial success with records till the 80s.
That's true. Yeah, she had her biggest hit, when she was in her, was she in her 30s or 40s?
I think she was probably late
in her 40s. Yeah. Still looked great, still sounded great, of course.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of people that had, this is his last number 1 hit on the charts, is Stevie Wonder's Part-Time Lover, number 22.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this. Let me hear it.
A much better song than his previous big hit, I Just Called to Say I Love You. This was a little bit more on form, I think, for Stevie.
I used to hate to play that. I Just Called to Say I Love You. Funkier for sure.
Yeah.
Lover.
Part-Time Lover.
Funky song, great song. It made the top 100, so it must have did pretty good.
It didn't just do that; it scored number 1 hit on 4 different Billboard charts. So he was the first artist to do so.
There you go.
Yeah,
and Stevie, legend.
Big in UK too.
No kidding. Amazing. Very. It's just popping. The record pops.
Absolutely. I think it's a pretty decent song, and to be, it was nice that he came back with a much better song, I think, than I Just Called to Say I Love You. To if that's going to be the one that is your big hit that you kind of taper off after, I'd much rather be remembered for this than for I just called to say I love you.
I'm with you on that, brother.
But of course, Stevie's got a huge catalog of
Yeah.
tremendous hits. So
A legend, just a legend.
I'm still driving the Superstitious. So
Oh yeah, Superstition.
is a great song.
Yeah. First time you actually heard that synthesizer type keyboard crunching on a record, it was like, what is this sound?
did you have to pull your car over again?
Not quite, but close. But it was, it's the first time you heard that synthetic keyboard crunch with that
that
lick.
funky Korg, I think it was,
yeah.
keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like it made you listen, and it was funky and it was great.
Very
Cool.
innovative for the time as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, this next song is great too. "Saving All My Love for You" by Whitney Houston,
Ooh.
number 23.
On your list, but no other man's gonna do.
Yeah, Whitney was
So I'm saving
just a fabulous superstar. I feel horrible about her end. I remember seeing her on TV. She debuted on an afternoon TV show, The Merv Griffin Show.
Wow.
And the Merv Griffin Show used to show about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And kind of like the Oprah time slot. And she debuted on that show. And I knew she was going to be a big star. And I seen her in Vegas at the Thomas Mack Arena, which is kind of like a Tacoma Dome type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they put her on a stage, just herself, no band around her, and it wasn't quite the same because you got to have that band.
The backup track.
I read a story one time that Elvis did that for a New Year's Eve show in Pontiac, Michigan, where they did the same thing, and it just wasn't the same. You got to have that band, So I wish that I had a chance to see her with the band. So the concert was okay, but anyway, she's one of the greatest superstars of all time. I love her.
Well, the song won Grammy Award for Best Female Pop Performance.
No kidding.
And it was awarded the gold certification from the RIAA in 1985 and
No kidding.
platinum certification in 2020.
Hot damn.
Yeah, this was from her debut album, which scored 8 hits off of it.
She was hot.
Yeah, she was insanely popular at the time, and this, right from the get-go cemented her as a superstar.
Too bad she met Bobby Brown.
Well, that was years later.
That's another story.
But, other hits from this album, Greatest Love of All, of course.
Yeah.
How Will I Know? This one, Saving All My Love for You,
A true superstar.
You Give Good Love. Yeah, so right from the get-go, she was a big success.
And then, of course, her mother was one of the backup singers for the King, Sissy Houston.
And
Wow.
was it her aunt that was also very popular?
Was it her mom or her aunt, Sissy Houston?
Yeah,
I think it was her mom.
you're right, but I think she...
Oh, you're talking about Dionne Warwick.
Yeah, she's related to Dionne Warwick.
Yeah,
That's what I
Dionne
was trying
Warwick
to-
is her aunt.
Blown my mind.
Yeah. So she came from a musical family. Sissy Houston was part of the Sweet Inspirations, which was Elvis's backup group. And, of course, Dionne Warwick was her aunt.
Eric, you mentioned already You Give Good Love, number 47.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we could go to number 24, Heaven by Bryan Adams.
Yep. Good song. I liked it. I'm a Bryan Adams fan.
It was recorded in 1983. Won the Pro Can Award because Bryan Adams is Canadian.
Very cool.
Yeah, and I'm sure I will remember this song as soon as we hear a little bit of it, but it's not jogging my memory just yet.
It was...
Okay, now it is.
Yep.
yeah.
Now, for Canada being, our next door neighbor and for being, a very friendly English speaking, we share a culture, in many ways with Canada. It is amazing to me that there's so few musical stars that break through from Canada to have U.S. success, but Bryan Adams definitely one of those guys.
Yeah, I hear you. You would think there would be more, the Guess Who.
When you think of it, like how many comedians, for instance, came from
like
Canada
John Candy
that became very successful in the U.S.
Eugene Levy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Tons.
Mike Myers, for instance, but there's honestly not that many Canadian singers that were successful here. But
Burton Cummings, he came out of Canada, right? Guess Who? I think so.
Was it Neil Young?
Yeah, the Guess Who was definitely from Canada, and Neil Young was from Canada. Yeah.
Randy Bachman, Burton Cummings.
Not to mention my mom.
Celine Dion. And your mom.
Yeah.
No question.
So
She played at the Paramount.
there definitely was a few.
Great.
Yep.
Right on. Yeah, this song, I remember the song. It was a nice, easy listening tune. I like Bryan Adams. I like his work. I like his voice. He did good work.
Yeah.
No question.
Well, he also won the BMI, Broadcast Music Inc. Citation of Achievement for U.S. radio airplay.
I believe that they played the holy heck out of that song. It was on wherever you went. It was on easy listening radio, adult contemporary radio, pop radio, FM radio. It was all over the place.
Have you seen a Canadian Idol before? Yeah, they have American Idol. They have Canadian Idol, too.
No kidding.
I got a hat with it.
Even now?
I don't know about these days.
Okay.
It's all up in the air.
Yeah.
But number 25 is Everything She Wants by Wham.
Ooh, let's hear that.
At the time, this was my favorite Wham song.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't a big Wham fan at the time. I thought they were a little too straight up pop for my particular taste, but this one I liked a lot.
This was also on the album with Last Christmas. It was a double A.
I like that sin sound.
Yeah. Andrew Ridgeley really showing off on this one what he could do, I think everybody remembers, of course, George Michael because he was the singer and frontman and, and wrote the lyrics and stuff. But Andrew Ridgeley really was a decent musician,
Yeah.
It helped they had a 3M 32-track recorder. Fancy at the time.
I'd say very fancy.
Recorded in August 1984 in Paris.
Wow. I like the sound of the record. It's got a great sound, great vibe, great vocals, great song. Different, different.
Yeah, this is the video version of the song where they mix in some shots of them playing at Wembley, and so you hear the crowd blended in, even though this is the studio version of the song.
Cool.
That's okay.
I like it.
Like Peter Frampton.
Oh, yeah.
The version is with the live, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm thinking of what was the Elton John song that starts with like applause and stuff, like it's being played
Benny and the Jets.
Benny and the Jets, that's right. Yeah.
Benny.
Kind of a similar trick here. That was, a studio single as well, but they put in the crowd effects on there to make it sound like it was live.
Yeah, great. Great idea, and it worked.
And the B-side for the album was Like a Baby and If You Were There.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Great album.
Very cool. I'm a fan.
Well, number 26 is Cool It Now by New Edition.
Yeah, you mentioned Bobby Brown a few minutes ago. And this is where Bobby Brown really got his start.
I'll say it. Go ahead.
Back when he was a little bit higher pitched.
Yeah.
They were all the singers in New Edition were higher pitched. And I believe the guys from Belle Biv DeVoe also started out in New Edition.
Yeah. Isn't that?
The helium vocals from guys that hadn't quite gone all the way through puberty yet.
Wow. Trippy, very trippy. I remember the song, but it was a big bubblegum type pop song for the era.
One of the early boy bands of the 80s, and, not a bad song.
I'll say one thing about Bobby Brown. I seen him perform on a Grammy show or something, and I think he did a Don't Be Cruel or My Prerogative, one of his big hits. And the guy really was a powerhouse entertainer. He could dance, he could sing, he had the moves. So the statement I said earlier about Whitney, I still stand behind it. But the guy was a great entertainer.
Sure. I mean, New Edition, the members were Ricky Bell, Michael Bivins,
oh my gosh,
Bobby Brown, or Ronnie DeVoe. So you got your Bell Biv DeVoe and your Bobby Brown, Johnny Gill, who also had success as a solo artist, and then Ralph Tresvant, which I don't remember him doing much after New Edition, but to have that many members go on to big success.
Yeah, number 4 of the year. January 1985, it peaked at number 4.
Cool.
And the group signed with MCA Records.
Yeah, it was definitely bubblegum, Donny Osmond, Jackson 5-ish type stuff, and it worked.
Wow.
Yeah, you could definitely hear they were trying to do a new Jackson 5
no question
sound for sure.
The producers said, I want this, and you guys are going to do this, and they did it.
And it worked.
It did.
Well, number 27 is the Miami Vice theme.
From Jan Hammer, yeah. And that, of course, a big movie or a big TV show at the time.
Big. I was wearing the Miami Vice look in the lounges in Vegas.
You still are.
Thanks. You're right.
And then this show was so big that both of the series leads, Don Johnson, of course, and Philip Michael Thomas both scored success in the pop charts with hit records.
Yeah.
I can't think of another TV show that had both the leads becoming pop stars, albeit briefly.
And it was the last instrumental to make the top 100 until 2013, when Harlem Shake by Bayer reaches number 1.
Yeah, not very many instrumentals in these days made it. Back in the 60s they did, in the 50s, but not...
Absolutely, yeah.
Not
even
in
the
these days.
70s, but once you get to the mid-80s, instrumental hits just kind of dried up.
And Don Johnson, he's on a new TV show that Keenan from Saturday Night Live. Don Johnson's on that his
it's
new
just
show.
called Keenan, yeah.
Yeah.
Really? I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, he looks pretty good for considering.
Yeah, and he was fantastic, considering at the time he was kind of considered a little bit of a lightweight, a little bit of a pretty boy,
Right.
He looked good in the outfits for Miami Vice,
right.
So, the show was successful. But he's really shown over the years to be a really great actor. If you haven't seen the Watchmen series on HBO,
correct,
he was fantastic in that.
Yeah. Also, I might add, because I'm going to put it in, Don Johnson, big Elvis fan, and he played in a movie called Elvis and the Beauty Queen, which was a story about Elvis and his relationship with Linda Thompson, who later married Bruce Jenner. Don't know why, but she did.
Wow.
And, of course, Linda Thompson was Miss Tennessee, and she had a relationship with the King for about 3.5 years. And Don Johnson, if you ever get a chance to see that movie, it's pretty trippy.
Wow. The more you know.
It's on YouTube.
Well, it won the Grammy Awards for Best Instrumental Composition and Best Pop Instrumental Performance in 1986.
Yeah,
a very catchy theme song.
Catchy. I don't remember hearing it a lot on the radio, but obviously it
made number
was.
5 in the UK and number 4 in Canada, so they liked it too.
It was big.
Well,
we're about due for a break, but as we go to break, how about a little bit of Billy Ocean, Loverboy?
Ooh,
This was a big hit.
I was playing all the Billy Ocean tunes in those days. Not this one, but all the other ones.
Billy Ocean was a English soul singer. Scored, a few hits around this time.
Get into my car.
Yeah,
Caribbean
Get Out of My
Queen.
Dreams. Yep.
I was doing all those tunes.
So we'll take the break. We'll come right back with more of the biggest hits of 1985. Stay tuned.
Thank you so
Viva
much.
ENT.
Thank you so much.
Alternative Talk 1150, here to uplift your day.
Billy Ocean's Loverboy as
Great
we turn
song.
here on Viva ENT. Yeah, and I got to say, this is a fun video that I don't think I've ever actually sat down and watched
Really?
before. It's kind of a recreation of the Star Wars cantina scene.
Oh, yeah.
With all the, crazy monsters and stuff, but done on a much lower budget.
Well, this was a year of Ewok Battle for Endor,
Oh.
which probably no one has seen that's listening.
I do remember watching that as a kid because I was crazy for Star Wars. So I would watch anything that was Star Wars related at the time. But yeah, those Ewok movies that they showed on TV were a little bit dull, if I'm honest. But at the time as a kid, I was like,
I got to tell you.
I see Ewoks, I like it.
I got to tell you a story about Star Wars. When it first came out, I took my kids to see the movie. I'm the only guy in the world on planet Earth that walked out on the movie halfway through because I just didn't get it. And boy, was I wrong.
Got to rewatch it now. Yeah.
Maybe I should, but and it was filmed in Vegas, in Death Valley, so that's one of the reasons I went to see it. So obviously, Capo's not always right.
What do you mean? It was shot in a galaxy far, far away. That's like ruining Christmas.
Maybe that's why I was in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, it was shot all over the globe,
Yeah.
to create different worlds,
And
For
they-
budget purposes.
They shot some scenes in Death Valley.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
The desert scenes in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, Tatooine.
That was shot in Death Valley in Nevada.
I remember the 6th movie was shot in
California.
the Redwoods in California.
Yeah.
And then they cut that whole area down after they shot it.
Oh.
Yeah, I got up out of my seat and my kids were with me and they were crying because I can't. I can't take it. There was another movie I walked out on too at the same time. Jeremy Irons was in this crazy movie about he was a psychiatrist and he had split personalities or a twin or something. I just got up and left.
Wow.
You're like, this movie could use some lightsabers.
Yeah. Anyway, not to get off the subject, but
Loverboy, it made the top spot of the Hot Dance Music Club Play chart in the U.S. and also was the second single from his 1984 album Suddenly. But are we transitioning to Lover Girl?
That's right. It's crazy how the charts line up sometimes, but number 28 for the year was Loverboy by Billy Ocean. Number 29 for the year was Lover Girl by Tina Marie. I don't think this was an answer to Billy Ocean's song, but just kind of a fun coincidence. And Tina Marie, a very talented guitar player and songwriter. She didn't have a lot of success outside of this song, but great song, great vocalist.
yeah, solid rhythm section.
Sadly passed on in 2010.
Oh,
She received the nomination for Best Female R&B Vocal Performance. She lost to Aretha Franklin with Freeway of Love.
Freeway of Love was a great song.
Yeah, she often worked with Rick James, and you can hear that funky sound,
Definitely
Rick
hear
James sound in it.
Love
Now, a lot of people didn't realize that Tina Marie was white, because this still to this day gets a lot of airplay on R&B and soul stations.
Yeah.
Well, it peaked at number 4 in the top 100.
Big hit. You get in the top 10, it's a smash hit, trust me.
And it's her first hit under the new label Epic after the lawsuit with Motown.
No kidding. Great record. I remember it very well. All over the radio. Great dance song. I'm sure I was dancing to it in the discotheques back in the day.
I would have thought that Tina Marie would have gone on to huge success after this, but she didn't. She was another artist that sounded great, but in the MTV world really didn't look like a pop star, to be honest. She had her own look. She was fine, but, just didn't really look like a pop star.
A lot of times it has to do with the producers and her management. I'd say almost 85% of the time it's the management, the producers. Do we want to go on with this? And you get the luck of the draw, and sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't.
Well, she was a star child. That was the name of the album, Star Child.
Wow, cool.
And the number 30 is You Belong in the City, Glenn Frey again.
Oh, yeah, Frey.
Yeah, Glenn Frey from the Eagles, back with another solo hit. I believe this was...
This was a cool song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another song for Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he featured the sax in his songs from that era, and it really... that's why I liked him. I like that sax.
And another song that could have been Kenny Loggins, but was Glenn Frey.
No kidding.
Frey performed the song live when touring with the Eagles until 2005.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good song. It really got you into the feel. Great arrangement. Great lyrics.
Cemented Miami Vice's success.
Yeah. Definitely well produced to the max.
And all instruments are performed by Frey, except for the saxophone part by the studio musician Bill Bergman.
No kidding. One guy?
It was all him, yeah, multi-track.
Yeah. That's basically when that stuff really first started. Cats were doing, all the parts.
Early MIDI, early digital.
Early MIDI.
They had the Apple II.
I don't think too much music was done on the Apple II.
No, but it was in the movie Explorers that came out this time.
Right, I remember that.
I was in the MIDI thing when it came out.
But a shocking amount of music from the 80s was actually recorded on an Atari computer that was one of the early samplers. So
Belong to the city. You belong to the night. Great song, man. It's the kind of song that you're driving down the highway and it's just a cool song to listen to.
You feel like you're in Miami Vice.
Yeah. I still do.
this may be one of the last big hits to feature like such a heavy saxophone. I mean, aside from like smooth jazz hits and stuff, but as far as pop songs go,
I'm glad you brought that up. I've been watching Saturday Night Live, pretty much, and the artists that come on the shows, and probably because of the time that they have to perform their song. You don't hear any lead solos hardly at all anymore. No lead guitar, no lead sax, no lead nothing. It's just a lot of synth and a lot of
karaoke sometimes.
Video, I mean, a lot of vocal, but there's nobody cutting out on a lead. I mean, I can't remember the last time I've seen somebody cut out on a lead guitar lick solo, or even a piano or a sax solo. You just don't see it anymore.
We got to get you on SNL.
I'm telling you.
You would shred.
Yeah, I would.
Well, I was thinking recently how we're further away now from 1985 and some of these last few shows, the music of that time period. We're further away now from that than 85 was from the beginnings of rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
But the music so different by 85 from rock and roll starting maybe 30 years before that.
Right.
But the music today is still very much in the mode of a lot of the stuff that we're hearing in these songs from 84 and 85. I think, this really had an influence, these songs, whether you like them or not, had an influence on pop music that would really last.
I agree. It's the keyboard synth sound.
Yeah.
And bass. You know, I remember when Cameo first came out. I seen him live in Denver, and you know, you just didn't hear that stuff. You know, and you're right. It stuck, and it still sounds like the rhythm sections that are coming out today. You're right.
And this is Oh Sheila, number 31.
Oh, Sheila
yeah.
from Ready for the World.
Yeah.
Oh, Sheila, let me love you till the morning comes. This one I say,
One of my tunes.
Great bass line. You can't deny that.
Great artist.
One of the few bands to break out of Flint, Michigan. Back when the water was safe to drink.
And the song is commonly misattributed to Prince due to its similarity in vocals.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Who was it?
It's,
Ready for the World.
Ready for the World. No.
Definitely Prince influence. I thought it was Prince.
Right? Same musical style.
When it
and-
came out, I thought
right.
it was Prince, so I got fooled twice.
I probably thought it was Prince too, hearing it on the radio at the time. But, you know, then learned it was Ready for the World. And I was surprised that Ready for the World didn't go on to have, you know, Prince-like success, because this was a number one hit in 85.
Yeah.
And they scored another big hit in 86 with a song called Love You Down, which was R&B number one and number 9 for the pop charts. So they had the makings of, you know, big success, but they just didn't have the luck, I guess.
You know, like I said, a lot has to do with luck, management, and the whole 9 yards.
Your agent.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at Wilson Pickett from the 60s. Hardly anybody knows what the guy even looks like. And one of the greatest voices in soul R&B history.
That's right. Well, you know what? Unfortunately, we're running out of time here.
How much time we got?
Well, we want to get in the theme song to the show played live, Such a Rush.
Oh, yeah.
From Johnny the Capo and the Bad Boys. So.
I definitely want to hear that. And plus, before we go off, I want to remind everybody about the group Viva ENT Talk Radio, Rock, Pop, and Soul on Facebook. Join it. My YouTube channel is Viva ENT Studios. Devin's channel is
Devin Creisler Studios.
Any other announcements you have to make for your constituents?
So I got my second vax, and I've been hearing things. I don't know. You guys hearing this?
I'm hearing the music come alive.
I'm hearing a sound check just around the corner for the whole Northwest.
I'm hearing gigs. I'll be on stage again.
Yeah, I'm buying tickets for a show in September, and I think that may be my first one, but we are definitely turning the corner. And
Landmark
I'm excited.
Convention Center Temple Theater is coming back alive in September and October. I'll be involved, and I will keep you posted.
Right? I'll let you guys know when there's more shows coming up.
Right on.
Well,
we're going to move on to 86 for the next show?
I think so.
I would say that's a fair enough assessment.
Awesome.
So,
well, let's go out with this. You guys recorded this live at the Viva ENT studios, right?
That's right.
Such a Rush.
Such a Rush. Everybody knows.
Another quick announcement, the new Viva ENT studios. We're going to make a major announcement next couple of weeks. It's going to be in Tacoma.
Right on, right on. Thanks, guys. A lot of fun as always.
We'll dig you now. See you later because you're a fine sweet potato. And remember, it's such a rush, baby.
Have a great evening, everyone.